Hey guys, this is RBR Short Films 13, aka Ryan, and today I'm doing a video, an announcement video of my next fan film. It will be my final slasher fan film in terms of just how my fan films have been since 2009 to now today to today. Um, it's been slasher films and slasher characters and um, if I ever were to come back and do a fan film after this, it would be not horror. It would be something different. And I just plan to, uh, with my art, to write um, and direct original screenplays, original films, original characters, and do my own thing. There's tons of genres that I want to explore that I haven't yet, and I want to learn more and more as a filmmaker of and as an artist. What I'm able to bring to life and what I can't bring to life. I want more of a challenge. I've been making fan films for a long time, and they're just not as challenging as they used to be. Um, uh, so like films like The Double Servant, The Double Servants, you could even say the Insane films or the Juster films, those characters, those stories, or it, I want to do more of that. I want to do my own original uh, art and not make fan films my whole life. So this is going to be my ending my fan films on like on a high note kind of thing. But anyway, um, it will be a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Um, it's called The Rise of Elm Street, a Nightmare on Elm Street fan film. And I almost didn't make this movie. I originally was going to make a Nightmare fan film back when I was 14, 15, around there. And I talked to my uncle Gary, and I asked him if he would play Freddy Krueger. And he wanted to, but he wouldn't agree to do it unless we had the right mask and costume and everything. And he wasn't happy with what was available at the party store. So, but I said to him, I do not know anyone else that can do the Freddy Krueger impression, or anyone that can impersonate Freddy Krueger that good, like better than the remake. I'm serious, and that's why I really wanted to make it, but it just wasn't possible. And then he got married, he had kids, and his career really, when his career went great. But here, but 15 years later, I give him a call and I say to him, "Hey, I'm about to write the script for The Rise of Pinhead. That's going to be my final fan film, a story about Pinhead, and I haven't really done anything with that character. But I said that I will completely scrap that if you say you if you are down to play Freddy Krueger again. Not Freddy Krueger again, but if you're down to play Freddy Krueger." And uh, and he said yeah, and he just was like he had no hesitation, and that was really great. And also another reason why I went to him, I asked him if about the fan film, is because he has an exact like replica mask in of the Nightmare 4 mask. Um, believe that was Wishmaster. Yep. I've been rewatching all the Nightmare movies, which has been a lot of fun. Um, it's just been total fun going through all of them and watching them all over again. It's just it's been a while since I've had a Nightmare marathon, literally, where I watched every single entry. Usually every October I'll watch the first three, and then that'll be it. And sometimes I might watch New Nightmare with it as well, and always Freddy versus Jason. But watching all of them in order, 1 to 7. It's always good to do your homework all over again, even though I watched these movies since I was 8. I've known these characters and these stories and everything for years, for my whole life. So Freddy Krueger isn't like a brand new character to me, some mystery, but it's a slasher that I've not brought to life yet in any of my fan films. And new Ghostface, I mean it's new Ghostface is a great high note of never going back to any Scream fan films. Like new Ghostface is my new nightmare to uh, my Scream fan films, and you'll see that when you watch the movie. Um, but really, new Ghostface, The Rise of Elm Street, I want these to be my best. Maybe not my best movies, but my best fan films. Um, and I don't know. Also, seeing the Nightmare House when I was in South Pasadena, California, at for the Halloween convention, the H45 convention, Halloween 45 Years of Terror. When I went on the bus tour, I went to all these locations, saw the Myers house, but the location that really stood with me uh, the most, that really stuck with me the most, was the Elm Street house and that neighborhood, and seeing Glenn's house and like just seeing that street, and it was just this out of body experience, and be able to get videos uh, and pictures of that house and that neighborhood was just absolutely incredible. And of course, I'd love to utilize some of that footage in a fan film, because it's the actual Nightmare House. And I just it took a lot of thinking and a lot of like you know uh, I don't know, courage to actually make this, because it is such a huge risk. Um, I feel like of any of my fan films, this is my biggest risk. Like I'm not gonna say this could make or break my filmmaking, uh, career, because I have yet to show the world so much of my art. It's beyond fan films, but yeah, I mean, if people don't like it, oh boy. But hopefully that doesn't happen. I will do everything as a artist, as a filmmaker, to make it the best Nightmare fan film possible. Um, but I just feel like none of it can work without an actor playing Freddy that has like the look and the personality and the someone who can literally just be another version of Robert Englund. Like not Robert Englund. Nobody can ever beat Robert Englund. He's um, that's like Robert Englund was lightning in a bottle. Yeah, no one can be Freddy Krueger but him. But uh, my Uncle Gary comes really close. He really does. Um, and I wouldn't go ahead and make this fan film if I didn't believe that and see that. And it's just I don't know. It seems like right timing, and so I wrote the script. I completed the script. I'm done with the script, and I've already been casting actors for the movie, and I start filming the movie next month, spring break, and until June, and June will be the end. That'll be the last month of filming the movie. So New Ghostface still coming out this Christmas, this December. Still getting that release, and I'll be in the editing process of that film starting in July. So right now it's writing scripts, it's catching up on my reading, trying to get back into drawing and painting if possible. That's what I'm trying to do, and making one more fan film. So it's just I get that all done before I even edit New Ghostface. So when I'm done with New Ghostface, then I can go ahead and start editing The Rise of Elm Street, and get that out at a reasonable date in 2025. So those are my that's my plans. Of course, after the Rise of Elm Street, I'm going to be making other short films and original short films, stories that have not been done yet. But this is going to be my um, going out with a bang uh, movie, fan film. And why not end it with Nightmare? Especially that the most nightmares I had as a kid was Freddy Krueger. Aside from Michael Myers, I had a lot of nightmares of a lot of nightmares of Michael Myers as a kid, but I had more nightmares of Freddy. Um, he terrified me in my nightmares, and those dreams felt so real. But it like opened up my imagination as well. And I would just write down nightmares I had of like what happened in the dream. And eventually I just, became a storyteller and then a screenwriter. Um, I don't know. So I have like my own experience with Freddy Krueger in my dreams, in a way. Um, and that feeling of not being able to. I had one nightmare where I was in my room. This is when I was living at my townhouse as a kid, and I saw myself as a teenager, all like grown up, and it was weird. I looked at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, "Whoa! I'm all of a sudden 10 years older. What's happening?" Um, and I remember going downstairs and then going into the kitchen, and it was just like the nightmare movies, a bunch of weird stuff that Freddy would put in your dream, and then he appears. And I remember just like walking around my house, walking around like the basement, and just trying to find Freddy. And so I knew where he was, so then I could run away. And then I remember him getting me through my chest, um, with his glove. I remember that, him just like going right through me, boom. I mean, I just remember that that was brutal. Um, but I had nightmares like that. I remember another nightmare where Freddy Krueger was chasing me, and I was running on glass, and I was like my feet were bleeding of glass, and I kept running in glass, and it was never ending. It was never ending pain of running on glass, and so I had those dreams running where I couldn't keep where I was stuck and I couldn't keep running. So I remember like Freddy chasing me and I couldn't move. Uh, so I had tons of nightmares of Freddy as a kid. So the fact that I can remember a few of them, and a few of those are just unforgettable dreams, nightmares. But I've always been a fan of the nightmare movies, and I feel like my filmmaking style would really work for nightmare because if you've seen the Insane movies, I'm all about psychological horror, all about getting inside your mind and really, tapping into that and having the audience feel a certain way psychologically. So it's like I could include that. I can include all that psychological and elements with slasher elements. So I haven't made a movie where it was psychological, but also slasher, and also supernatural in it as well. In a way, depending on how you look at Freddy Krueger, he is you know more supernatural or whatever the word would be, more than Michael Myers and Jason. He's more on the Pinhead level, Chucky, um, Candyman, those characters. Um, and I've just never really made a fan film of any of those kind of characters. Um, and I personally love when a slasher can have great dialogue with other characters, and then can still be a slasher, where you're still watching a slasher film, but you can have really great dramatic moments because the villain has dialogue. I think that's why people love the Chucky show, why people love Scream, why people love Candyman and Hellraiser and A Nightmare on Elm Street, is those slashers have dialogue, and it just makes it far more interesting through a filmmaking standpoint. As an audience standpoint, I love to go see a Halloween film and just get blown away into that experience. Same with a Friday movie. Just I want to go into a classic Friday film and have that experience, and go back to the original films and relive that. But as a filmmaker, the Halloween movies and the all this stuff with Jason, with Ghostface versus Jason, and the Miner versus Jason, a Ghostface story. It, there's only so much you can do with Jason, and there's only so much you can do with Michael Myers. Really, they can't talk, and then you have a such a gigantic fan base for those characters where you can't take any risks with those characters. You have to entirely be respectful to the fans and also be respectful to yourself as a fan of those characters. Why do I love Jason? Why do I love Michael? Because of how they are. So why change that? So instead of making a Halloween fan film or Friday, or just a character that doesn't talk, and then to actually make that character give that character dialogue. uh it was Just imagine Michael Myers running with a gun, and he's talking while wearing the mask. People would be so angry. It's Imagine Jason talking, and putting on the mask consistently, like he like talks and sounds all like, "Duh, duh, 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 duh," and uses like guns throughout the whole movie, doesn't even use a machete. That would make fans angry. See, though, that's what you cannot take risks with those characters. You cannot take those kinds of risks. You just can't. So, this fan film gives me the opportunity to do something really exciting with Freddy, and I feel like fans will be more accepting of this because he's a character that has dialogue, that has a lot of layers, and he's just and he's scary. I mean, Freddy does scare me. We're talking more the Freddy Krueger from the first two movies, first three films, more so that Freddy Krueger. Um, but and I want to go back to that. I don't want him to be super dark. I want a couple comedic moments, but overall, I do want him to be more serious like the original. I want to go back to that. And happy 40 years, guys, of Nightmare on Elm Street. New Line could have easily made a 40-year Nightmare film that wouldn't even have to be a reboot. Like, it literally could just be a direct sequel to Nightmare 6, and Freddy comes back years later, and he's after the town and of Springwood, and he's after all the kids on Elm Street, and he wants to return and get revenge and yada yada yada. You can make a good Nightmare film with that, and how long the parents and the people of Springwood have kept Freddy a secret, and haven't, how they've kept not spreading the fear. What happened to Laurie and Will, in at the end of Freddy versus Jason, where they put in a institution because people didn't believe them, kind of like the Chucky show. So where they just put into a psych ward, and or some people of Springwood knew, and they put them somewhere so they couldn't spread the word and that fear to the rest of the town that already was happening in Freddy versus Jason. So it's like easily screenwriter could mash all those films and do a sequel, even if it was a different actor. Sadly, that's what's going to happen. Robert Englund retired the character in 2003 with Freddy versus Jason, and respect. He came back for Freddy versus Jason. He gave us that movie, and he's forever an icon, forever a legend. And if I ever get to meet him, oh my god. um but uh you know the Nightmare series should continue on, and I think there are tons of actors that deserve a chance to be able to give their take on the character, and show that we can have that Robert Englund Freddy, even though it's a different actor. It's never going to be 100% the same, but we can have a Freddy Krueger like the original, and not the remake. We can easily, that atmosphere and tone and that sinisterness that Freddy has, we can get that back from the original films. They have to hire an actor that can bring it, and I believe that there is some actor out there that can. It definitely would be the biggest audition process in probably cinematic history, or in slasher movie history. But I say, New Line, go ahead and do it. Make a 40 years later movie, but don't ignore the sequels. But that concept that I heard for a while, that rumors that were going around for a couple years, that there was going to be a Nightmare movie that was going to be set right after the first one, and 40 years after the first movie, and Nancy was going to come back, and Freddy, and we were going to get one more Nancy Freddy movie, and Robert Englund was going to come back, and it would be like really the last one. I I personally would be down for that. Why not? You know, that would be awesome. And to people that complain about Heather's acting, like, come on now. You all need to stop. She's amazing. She's Nancy. She's one of the most iconic characters in slasher movie history, and yeah, she's amazing. I don't know what people you know s- say she's a bad actress and stuff. I don't think so. I never thought she was a bad actress. Um, of course, she's not Jamie Lee Curtis, but she's still amazing. But anyway, I'm real excited to do this. Real excited to make this fan film, and all I hope is to make a great fan film for my subscribers and for Nightmare fans, and to really celebrate 40 years of the Nightmare series, and really go back to the original. Really go back to uh, those, and some elements of those sequels, because Nightmare fans love the sequels. Some people's favorite Nightmare movie is the second one. Some people's favorite is the third one. Some people's favorite is the fourth one, fifth one, sixth one. And you don't want to disrespect the fan base like that, and say that movie never happened. That movie never happened. No, they're all canon in my fan film. They all exist. All those movies happened. Even if certain films aren't mentioned, or characters, it did. All those sequels did happen in my fan film. So really it is a continuation of Freddy's Dead and Freddy versus Jason, and really just going back to Nightmare, going back to the basics, and what made the original work. What made that work so well. Um, so anyway, guys, I wanted to announce that. I wanted to announce the Rise of Elm Street, and that I completed the script, and by the time this is uploaded, the actors will have gotten the script. And after that, then I think I'm going to do more research on the Nightmare franchise, and also um, write more, write more screenplays. I have so many screenplays that I want to write, and a book that I started writing back when I was 18, 19, and I haven't finished it yet. So I wouldn't mind finishing that book, uh, just to say I wrote a book. Um, and of course, trying to get back into drawing and all that, and a lot of reading. Um, and then of course, uh, this fan film. So yeah, guys, a lot in store for my channel. Two exciting fan films on its way, and I cannot wait for you guys to see them. And I'm really grateful you guys will be a part of this journey. All right, I hope you enjoy the video, and I will talk to you all very soon. All right, peace.